So, welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is going to be on winning with BMC Helix, the next generation observability platform. And very fortunate to be joined by Sentry, who are going to introduce themselves very shortly. They have done a couple of webinars with us before, so it's lovely to bring them back again. So, joining us today is Bertrand Martin, our CEO of Sentry Software, Razim Mohammed, pre-sales for Sentry Software, and then we've got Tidris Rudra, and I'm not going to say your full name, you know I have a trouble, who's also from BMC Helix and works very closely with our partners. They will do their formal introduction shortly, but I just want to make a couple of reminders that if you do have any questions during this session, please use the Q&A section of Zoom. We've got quite a lot that's going to be covered, including some demos, but we would love this to be interactive. And hopefully, and I'm going to make a bit of a joke to Bertrand, we're friends now. He does like to talk like I do. So if it does get to the point that there's 10 minutes left, I will be telling him to stop so we can have some of your questions. Do keep it interactive. Very excited to have Sentry again back with us. And I'm sure there's going to be many more sessions they're going to do with us next year. And I know we don't have our American compatriots today because it's Thanksgiving, so we are light on numbers, but we will be recording this session. So if you do have any colleagues that are out in the Americas or LATAM, feel free to share the links once I share them out after. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Tejas to get us started to Sentry to do their presentation. So over to you, Tejas.
Thanks a lot, Sam. First of all, greetings everyone for joining this session. And just to set the context of why we are having this session, it's very clear that since a couple of weeks, we are following the strategy of attack now. Now, when it comes to Sentry, Sentry is a quite familiar name attached with BMC Helix for more than a decade. And with that, we have a product which is going to help us have a deeper visibility into storage and hardware, which allows us to maximize the value of AIOps that we deliver to our customer. Just to speak a little bit about how Sentry delivers the value, basically the out-of-box compatibility of their products make it so easy for the deployment, which kind of supports across the heterogeneous environments that the system has. Along with that, what is kind of most exciting thing when it comes to Sentry product is the consistent metrics that we see as a result of their efforts kind of allows us to monitor everything at a click of a button. So with that, I introduce to you and over to you, Bertrand.
Thank you. Thank you, Tejas. Thank you, Sam, for the great introduction. Nice to hear. So what if BMC Helix, was the most advanced observability platform on the market, right? Yeah. In this session, you will learn how to present BMC Helix, as the modern infrastructure observability platform that it is, cool and future-proof, because this is the reality now in 2025, fiscal year 2026. Some of you already know Sentry Software for the KMs and for the ETLs that we've been doing for decades, for 2 decades now. But today we're going to talk about the latest new and exciting stuff around OpenTelemetry and AI. Let me first, walk you through what's possibly the biggest opportunity we've seen in a long time. The tech giants like Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, OpenAI, etc., and many others actually. But these guys, they are throwing insane amounts of money, into building new data centers. And we're talking about numbers that, were once reserved for entire national budgets. It's crazy. So Microsoft, $80 billion just next year. Amazon, $150 billion over 15 years. Meta, $10 billion for data centers and servers and GPUs. And more with OpenAI. Now, well, here's the thing. These data centers, they will be providing high-value cloud and AI services at scale, etc. And these, on-prem infrastructure requires perfect performance, complete control, full compliance, and optimal cost efficiency. And that's exactly where BMC Helix comes in with Sentry Software. So with Sentry, provide the kind of deep hardware level monitoring that these environments demand. And BMC Helix becomes a whole lot more powerful when it can see all the blinking lights, down to the server's motherboard or the latest generation GPUs. So every data center that pops up in the news from the ground, that's not just a headline in the news. It's a sales lead. And if you're not already talking to your customers about this, well, I think you're leaving serious money on the table. Well, and if you don't feel like going after these giants, which I understand, well, don't worry. There are hundreds of thousands, maybe, of smaller data centers, projects everywhere around the globe, which makes hundreds or thousands of opportunities for all BMC Helix sellers and integrators. This is your moment to lead the conversation and not just follow it. Very important. All these, these tech giants are pouring dollars, everywhere, and you guys can get your share. Now, let's talk about OpenTelemetry. What's hot today? So I'm sharing this document from Gartner, the latest hype cycle for observability. And as you can see, OpenTelemetry is hot, as well as telemetry pipelines, IT sustainability management. I may get back to that later, and monitoring as code. Your customers have expressed a huge interest in these, in OpenTelemetry. It may be too much even, right? But that makes it all easier to sell. Also, I'm just quoting the Gartner research here. OpenTelemetry, or OTel, has established itself as a de facto standard for instrumenting distributed traces, metrics, and logs, with broad industry support among both open source and commercial monitoring vendors. OTel is widely recognized by all leading vendors in the observability space, which indicates a maturing infrastructure for application monitoring. This includes support from many cloud service providers and observability solutions, which facilitates the instrumentation of applications across various platforms without vendor lock-in, in which enhance the flexibility. Last point, the consideration of OpenTelemetry in the context of broader AI capabilities suggests that enterprises are recognizing now its strategic potential to empower observability, even as they embrace additional tools. Many companies, many of your customers are forming centralized observability teams to streamline their observability strategies, which is a testament to the impact that OpenTelemetry is having on organizations enterprises and processes. Some of you here are probably already convinced, which is good, but many of you haven't acknowledged this fact and haven't implemented anything based on OpenTelemetry, which is a shame. But now we can do this with BMC Helix and bring the traditional infrastructure monitoring into a modern observability environment along with OpenTelemetry. Okay, so just by the way, to clarify, because I know that some of you guys are still not completely clear on what is OpenTelemetry and what it is not. I'm going to make a quick recap. So OpenTelemetry it's a standard which defines a protocol to exchange data between an application, a collector, an observability backend. So how to send metrics, logs, and traces, and how to receive it, basically. The OpenTelemetry group, which is sponsored by the CNCF, which is OpenTelemetry, the second most active project at CNCF, just after Kubernetes, by the way. The OpenTelemetry group also created SDKs so that developers can integrate OpenTelemetry in their applications. So your developers, your customers' developers, and software vendors. SDKs for every languages, every single language, like Java, C, C++, Rust, Python, .NET, whatever, everything, C#, etc. They also created a collector, right? A collector, which is actually, it's not a collector, it's a pipeline. It's named the OpenTelemetry collector, but it's really a telemetry pipeline. And we'll get back to that. It's very interesting. And actually, Sentry Software contributed to the OpenTelemetry project, and notably in the OpenTelemetry collector. And it's also it is very important to me, and it will be, and you'll understand the value later, the semantic conventions that OpenTelemetry has defined to make sure that the CPU utilization, for example, is always represented with the same metric, for example, that the host name is always represented with the same attribute, etc., etc. Very practical, very, it's very important to make things easier, etc. You'll see that later. Anyway, so OpenTelemetry, it's not a product, it's a standard that everybody now has adapted. All observability vendors have adapted OpenTelemetry, and all of your customers are wondering, how come I don't have any OpenTelemetry thing here? How do I leverage that? Everybody says it's great, so how do I use that? Can I gain anything with it? Yes, we can, and with your help and with BMC Helix. So now let's switch to something that you're probably more familiar with. So this is the still going to explain it, but it's the diagram representing the BMC Helix platform and all of its the main features and benefits. So BMC provides all the required features to maximize the uptime of the data centers and on-prem servers, and to maximize the efficiency of the people operating these systems. Discovery of the systems, network systems, storage systems, and their relationships, very important, with applications and services. Monitoring to detect any problem with the infrastructure, analyze the root cause of the downtime and performance issues, proactive alerts, optimization of the resources, prediction of saturation, etc. This diagram, it says it all. It's beautiful. It's been designed by product marketing, but don't forget one thing. It's been designed, this diagram, it's been designed considering all features of and components of BMC Helix, including the market zone products from Sentry, from Maviri, etc., which are completely integrated into BMC Helix. And Sentry, in particular, brings something unique to address today's challenges. Modern observability of the infrastructure with OpenTelemetry. That is something new. Wow. So let me explain what we did at the potential. Why am I talking about OpenTelemetry? So OpenTelemetry is becoming pervasive, and some of your customers are exploring this, and they've been also leveraging technologies like Prometheus. So in this diagram, you can see the OpenTelemetry collector, which is a pipeline, which in this case is used to get metrics from servers, from applications, from databases, instrumented with Prometheus, and we get these metrics. We're seeing some metrics collected by OpenTelemetry collector itself, right? Okay. And this could be leveraged by any platform that supports OpenTelemetry. And customers already use this kind of setup. Some of them, not all. But you will help them. So what Sentry did is to contribute what we call an exporter in the OpenTelemetry collector for BMC Helix, so that any data, any metric that is ingested by the OpenTelemetry collector can be exported through this pipeline to BMC Helix, where we can where the users will be able to leverage the advanced feature of BMC Helix, dashboarding, alerting, even correlation, AI apps. So then we get the best of both worlds: the openness of open source solutions like Prometheus, OpenTelemetry, and the strength and power of a platform like BMC Helix. That's one thing that we did. It's already available. And it's this BMC Helix exporter is now part of the OpenTelemetry collector project. We've contributed that to the OpenTelemetry group. And something else that can be ingested by the OpenTelemetry collector is a native application, a native OpenTelemetry application that is named MetricsHub. MetricsHub is it's an incredible collector for infrastructure metrics, supporting all the traditional protocols from SNMP to the latest REST APIs, etc., to monitor servers, storage systems, even network devices, etc., and push metrics in the OTLP, it's the OpenTelemetry protocol. So then it goes through this, and then it can be exported to BMC Helix. And this is, this is the pipeline, the telemetry pipeline that most customers adopt nowadays. So what is this MetricsHub thing? Let me tell you a bit more about this one. Oh yeah, and by the way, I like this joke, yeah, don't go like, don't go extinct like a dinosaur. Yeah, because some of us are like that. We've been working in this market for a few years now, and sometimes you feel overwhelmed by the new technologies. Don't feel overwhelmed, just embrace new technologies and don't go extinct. So what is MetricsHub? MetricsHub, I said it's a collector. It's an incredible collector to collect infrastructure metrics. Well, Gartner says, it's actually the only robust and scalable mechanism for collecting infrastructure and standardizing infrastructure metrics with OpenTelemetry. So it's OpenTelemetry first. It's highly scalable. one MetricsHub instance can monitor many remote systems. It enables AI and agentic AI because it includes an MCP server. I'll get back to that later. It has incredible coverage of the different types of manufacturing, etc. And also, it's nice. It's a nice thing to have. It natively exposes metrics around sustainability, like energy usage and carbon emissions of a physical infrastructure, in case your customer has on-prem infrastructure. But okay, I'm talking about MetricsHub. Why am I talking about MetricsHub in this BMC Helix and Sentry Software presentation? Well, it's because MetricsHub, through a partnership between Sentry and MetricsHub, is actually made available to any BMC Helix customer and customer of the Sentry bundle. So when a customer of BMC Helix has purchased the Sentry bundle, they also have access to MetricsHub, the collector, right? Which enables them to instrument all their infrastructure in OpenTelemetry, which is really cool. So which means that you, as a BMC Helix partner, you can sell today, you can implement today MetricsHub with BMC Helix for your customers, and that is very new, and that is very exciting. Yeah, and a quick word about why this is exciting. Why it makes BMC Helix better is that BMC Helix is great already to when covering infrastructure tech, but the MetricsHub and the Sentry bundle, complements that, increase that coverage, which makes BMC Helix go way above the modern observability solutions like Datadog, New Relic, and Dynatrace, but even better than the traditional ones that were really good at infrastructure monitoring like SolarWinds and Zabbix. Because yeah, our competitors, Datadog, New Relic, Dynatrace, Grafana now, Chronosphere, they're really good at observability, right? But they suck at infrastructure monitoring, traditional stuff, right? And it's the opposite for SolarWinds and Zabbix. They're really good at traditional infrastructure monitoring, but they're not good at all. They have, they're a thing of the past. So observability is not something that they support. And by the way, they don't support OpenTelemetry. BMC Helix plus Sentry bundle, including MetricsHub, make us, go way above the other. It makes us, compare very well to the others. Okay, so now I said I could, spend I could spend a long time actually showing how what MetricsHub does in the context of BMC Helix. But what I wanted to show you is the AI part of it. So I said, I mentioned that MetricsHub, this very exciting collector, OpenTelemetry native, broad coverage of infrastructure, enables AI because it includes an MCP server. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with MCP. So MCP is the protocol that allows an LLM to interrogate a software, like to interrogate MetricsHub in this case. So we've added an MCP server to MetricsHub so that any LLM, OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, etc., will be able to leverage MetricsHub to get live information from the customer infrastructure to help the system administrators troubleshoot things live. Because what is the first thing that a system administrator does when they get notified of a problem in a server or in an application or a service that is not running? What is the first thing that they do? Well, usually they take they have a coffee, then they say like, oh God, what is this happening to me? And then they accuse the user and the developers, etc. But then at some point, the system admin actually double checks that the problem is real, right? So the monitoring system or the user would tell them, yeah, it's not responding. This thing is not responding. This thing is full, whatever. The sysadmin in charge, the first thing he does is connect in SSH or whatever, goes in the system and double check the problem is real. Like, because as Dr. House once said, everybody lies. That's what they think. Anyway, so they need to do that. But what if we could automate that? What if we could automate that? And if we could, typically, a good LLM with a tool like MetricsHub can do that, because the LLM with reasoning capabilities will understand the problem, and then we'll go with MetricsHub, connect to the system. MetricsHub, which is already collecting metrics, CPU utilization, system usage, traditional thing, and more complicated stuff for hardware monitoring, system databases, etc. So it collects metrics, and then the LLM will gather these metrics to see what is happening, and then lead to its own conclusion, confirms the problem, offers a solution to solve the problem. And we've implemented that and interfaced that in a Slack channel in this demo. It could be done in Teams, etc. And that would be actually your job to do it. So let me just show you how it looks like. So this was our very first test with it. So I'm asking why our NVIDIA server is running slow, and maybe our chatbot actually confirms there's a problem where the driver and firmware versions of the server of the GPU are not aligned, and then it suggests what to do with that. Then our admins go like, wait a minute, you've connected OpenAI with our own network. I'm like, yeah, don't freak out. And so once our system admins understand what is going on, they ask what could be done to solve the problem, and then the LLM said, okay, you can run this command, etc., etc. And when you do that, you'll fix the problem. So Pascal in this case does that and asks for confirmation, and immediately the chatbot, maybe responds that, yeah, now it's working and fixed. Then the other admins go like, oh, he was amazed, was like, oh, but wait, do we have other problems, in our infrastructure? And then the LLM goes, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, we have two. You have one server which is under hard pressure, a huge workload in a cluster. So maybe we could actually move VMs, from another node of the cluster, etc. And that's how in like a few minutes, just testing that thing, once it had been integrated in our network, we had solved two real technical issues in our infrastructure. This is a cool demo. Actually, we have it live. This is just a recorded thing, but we can help you actually run this demo. Well, you will need what you will need for this demo is to have MetricsHub and a subscription to an LLM like OpenAI, and that's it. Soon, we're working on that with BMC Helix already now, is to interface Helix GPT with the MetricsHub MCP server, so that any problem confirmed by Helix by Helix will be troubleshot and diagnosed and maybe even solved automatically by Helix GPT, leveraging MetricsHub, which has direct access to the systems. So it will be a full automation chain, just like we've been talking about automatic recovery actions for years, and all customers that I know of have had a cold feet about this, because it's it's a risky business, right? But with AI it changes, because now you have artificial intelligence that we realize that it's not worth restarting the same service 10 times in 10 minutes, and that something else, something funky is going on, right? Anyway, this is really cool demo to make with MetricsHub, and integrates that with BMC Helix. Customers love it. So what you will say, okay, let's talk about business. What you will sell first, to your customers, it's the BMC Helix AIOps advanced SKU, not the current SKU, not the standard SKU, the advanced SKU. You have full metrics ingestion, etc., plus the Sentry bundle for BHub, which includes the traditional KMs that Sentry has been known for decades, and also MetricsHub Enterprise. Okay, it's priced per resource unit, just like the rest. It's available in SaaS, and it's available on-prem. So it's really cool. So that's the subscription that you will be selling to your customers. Then what you will sell, it's rapid, fast time to value. Because instead of, so we're talking about implementing monitoring, infrastructure observability. Instead of forcing customers to deploy specific agents like patrol agents and thousands of their servers, which requires a lot of testing, validation, a lot of time to deploy, actually, and which is actually a very risky operation. Sentry and MetricsHub allows you to set up one single collector to monitor up to 1,000 remote systems. This simplifies the deployment project significantly, I can say. And it simplifies maintenance too, which is very important to customers. And it's much easier to sell a deployment of 1 or 10 collectors than 1,000 or 10,000 agents to deploy. And also, thanks to what we call its N by 1 by N architecture, you can push the data to not just BMC Helix, because we know that you guys don't work only with BMC Helix. We know that. And sometimes the customer has another observability solution as well. Maybe they just run a local Prometheus as well. They like it. Well, with this collector, with MetricsHub, you can push the metrics to another destination as well. So, which is good. It allows the customer to leverage the data in any place they want. A lot of flexibility. This is the beauty of telemetry pipelines, which are brought to you by the OpenTelemetry collector, by the way. It's not really a strength of MetricsHub or Sentry by itself. It's just the strength of OpenTelemetry. What you will sell, so I was saying, it simplifies the maintenance. Yeah. Something else that simplifies the maintenance is the automatic provisioning of the monitoring, which is incredible. So we have what we call programmable configuration. I won't go into too much details, but I think I'll remove that slide. Which allows you integrators to actually interconnect MetricsHub with any with an inventory tool, with the reference, with the CMDB, with CMDB of your own customer, to retrieve the list of systems to monitor, and automatically set up the monitoring of these systems in MetricsHub. This is done through simple scripting like this one, where we connect with CMDB, then we get the list of Windows Server, etc., and then we get the credentials from a password vault, an enterprise password vault, instead of a hard-coding password here. It's all dynamic, and this is typically the job of an integrator, to build these kind of things. And this is available right now. You can do that. You can hard code things, yeah, of course, but you can then make it a bit smarter for your customers. That's the value that you guys bring. So let's say you have BMC Discovery, the customer is using BMC Discovery, then you can make MetricsHub consume what Discovery has discovered and monitor these systems automatically. And then when a system is decommissioned, it's removed automatically from the provisioning. It's great. It's incredible. And actually, we have a BMC Helix already has a customer who does that. It's Bell in Canada. They started with the hardware Sentry, and then they moved to MetricsHub actually, and they compared MetricsHub to other solutions, to Zabbix, to Telegraph, to an internal solution, etc. And the conclusion was that MetricsHub with BMC Helix was much better than the rest, and they implemented that to monitor 6,000 servers with just a few collectors across 12 data centers, and it helped them actually increase the uptime. They measured that they actually avoided critical failures. It's a crazy story, but this will be for another day. And they're very happy with that, with the solution. So it's true, it works, and it's great. It scales incredibly well. Something else that you will be able to do is to tailor the observability solution, to what your customer actually needs, because MetricsHub can be customized. MetricsHub can be customized in different ways, but essentially a non-programmatic way. So you can easily add custom metrics. So your customer says, yeah, I need to retrieve these metrics, maybe business metrics, business-specific metrics, or specific applications metrics that haven't been instrumented with OpenTelemetry because they've been developed 10 years ago. And you can easily retrieve metrics from custom scripts, from any traditional protocol, etc. And then you put that in the configuration and say, okay, this number, this number, you map that to this OpenTelemetry metric. Very easy. Any consultant, and actually even AI is actually capable of creating custom metrics in MetricsHub. If you're a bit more advanced, you could even create custom connectors for your customer. So MetricsHub comes with like 300 connectors to cover different technologies, from different hardware vendors, storage vendors, Windows, Linux, AIX, HPUX, Postgre, MySQL, DB2, etc. Different pieces of tech. And you guys could actually develop custom connector for a specific application of a specific thing that your customer has and really needs to monitor. So you can really make the solution fit what the customer wants to see and avoid true developments, because often when non-professional developers, even professional developers, but it's even worse for non-professional developers, go and try to develop custom plugins in Go, in Python, etc. We end up with security issues. It's bad. It's really bad. So to avoid these risks, to avoid the security risk, MetricsHub allows the customization just through YAML configuration. So it's not non-programming, it's just specifying what needs to be retrieved and exposed. Except if you're crazy, you can go with Java, but really I don't recommend that. What you will sell is this chatbot that I showed you earlier. Agentic AI, just like the chatbot earlier, maybe we call it. It was just an example, but it needs to be integrated for each customer. There's not, one-stop solution. Every implementation of a chatbot has to be very specific to a customer. First of all, you need to adapt to the UI that they prefer to interact with: Teams, Slack, email, Jira system, Remedy, etc. Automation. How does it react? Only on human request, or does it react on alerts, consolidated alerts, preferably, to avoid paying too much to the LLM provider? React on user incidents, etc., etc. Which LLM? Your customer may have a subscription with OpenAI, maybe with Gemini, maybe Copilot, or maybe they're running on-prem GPUs. Well, we have some customers like that. Well, then it's your job to connect the different pieces together. Prompting. We can help you with a prompt, default prompt to define the tone, to make it relevant, etc., and how much effort is put into reasoning, and how responsive it is. It's very important. It's very complicated. Then you will want to include a specific knowledge from your customer, like their own internal documentation, or a knowledge base, etc., or even previous incidents. And then you'll have to make it observable to make sure that it's not just you implement it once. You need to make sure that you're able to audit the rationale behind the reasoning. You can evaluate the responses, etc. Automated testing evaluation is good for anything that is based on LLM. And that is not something that BMC Helix will do. It's something that Sentry or MetricsHub will do. It's something that you will do for your customer, because it's very specific to your customer environment. All right. I wanted to, I'm very proud to announce that we've revamped our website, a new design, even a new logo, more resources, very up to date for BMC Helix and how to unlock the full power of BMC Helix. Download documentation, you'll find everything here. And of course, there's a graphical glitch here. Will be here. Sentry will be here for you to support you from for general questions, discovery calls, for presentations, demos, POCs, everything, to closing the deal, to even post sales, if needed. So never hesitate to reach out. So I've put the QR codes for Razim and myself LinkedIn profiles. Don't hesitate to reach out. If you can't find us, you can reach out to Tejas, who's in this call. So don't hesitate. we're here to help. If you have any doubt, any question, and if you want to try something, or if you just want to implement the maybe chatbot in your environment to be able to demo that to your customers, let us know. Thank you. If you have, okay, now it's time for questions.
I'm very impressed. Very impressed. I was like, am I gonna have to ask you? We've only got a few more minutes. Thank you. Some of the questions did get answered, but we don't have a huge amount of questions. I don't know if obviously teachers, if there was anything else from the BMC Helix standpoint you wanted to add as well, just in general, because I know we're trying to spend a lot more time having not just customer webinars, but having partners to come on to webinars just to showcase what they're doing, what's out there, because I know we value our partners greatly, and without them, I still see them as BMC Helix people as well. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything, because we don't have questions at the moment.
Yeah, so I do want to add one thing to everything that Bertrand has mentioned. Something on the business side, basically the way Sentry is positioned, it helps us do and open more doors, more opportunities. Wherever we are selling, let's suppose any SKUs for data center, that becomes the low-hanging fruits to introduce Sentry, and then it can be leveraged to upsell and cross-sell many more BMC products. So it goes like if the BMC is there, Sentry will follow. If the Sentry products are there in the customer profile, then the rest of the BMC products will follow. So it's kind of a unique positioning that we have with Sentry, that they kind of help us open more doors to sell more BMC products as well. So that's an added benefit when we are working with Sentry. So that's the thing, or that's the key takeaway I would suggest to all the attendees to take from this session. And for rest of the questions, I believe Bertrand and Razim can help us with.
Yeah, I think a few have been answered,
Yeah.
so we don't have any at the moment.
Yeah, Sam, just to add on to what they just mentioned, it's in context with the question. So how do people move from the existing KMs or the pathogen-based solutions towards MetricsHub? So if you remember that in one of the slides, Bertrand mentioned that this product is available with the Sentry SKU. So any customer who is using KMs, any of the Sentry KMs, and if they are interested in trying out MetricsHub or migrate to MetricsHub, so feel free to reach out to us. We can help them set it up and migrate them fluently without any issues. So that could also help you retain customers and then renew, because this is something new. So it's not like people looking for any alternative solution. So if you have any difficulties with your existing customers, just reach out to us if you need any help with this.